All right, here we go. Dope. Here we go. Hey, that's my boy. He's first. How are you, sir? I hope you're having a good day today. How are y'all? Looks like we're getting some people up in here. Gonna have us a nice 1911 talk, 1911 45 Friday, as it were. I am super pumped. We haven't done this in a while. Haven't done this since RCSJR Saturday Night Live episode. That was pretty fun. And now we're gonna do the 45 Friday with me. And we're back in the basement, obviously. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And I do want to apologize. It is hard to set up the manual focus on a camera. And so when you only have one person, so I'm, you'll have to deal with the camera kind of popping in and out of focus every once in a while. So I apologize, like that right there. So I apologize for that. Actually, let's see if I can fix that real quick. I don't think that's going to fix it. But let's try to get this back in focus here. Yep, there we go. So, anyways, you'll have to deal with that. I apologize for that, but hey, guess what? We're a 1911 company, and we're kind of known for not being 1911 guys are not known for being good with technology. We're all old and you know decrepit. So, hey, I am doing well. I hope everyone is. We are, this is 45 Friday. This is going to be the first 45 Friday that I do where we aren't going to have Instagram and Facebook live at the same time. It's just going to be on YouTube, and then we'll obviously have this available down the road for everyone else to check out. So, yeah, this will be a lot of fun. We will hopefully get to talk a little bit about 1911s and given a little bit of time, 15 people, that's pretty good for that. So you can start rolling in with the questions if you have any, or we can talk about different guns. I've got almost every alchemy model that we make here, and so we can pretty much talk about anything y'all want to talk about. And so, yeah, hey, thank you, John. I am feeling good today. I didn't get to work out though. We have been absolutely freaking slammed. I'll just be honest with you. It has been a crazy past like 2 months for Alchemy Custom Weaponry. We've just been absolutely slammed. It's really crazy, and I'm kind of it's me and Nick really as far as people interacting with us, and so that is a lot of work for two people. And so we are blessed for the work. We're happy for the work, but it is one of those things where it's pretty tough to do. So, anyways, the duck is back. Well, not really. I'm kind of back. I'm back on YouTube because that's not a 1911 addicts site. So I am not really back, but I am somewhat back. So there's that. I'm gonna lift my hat. Maybe my camera needs to see more of my face. I don't know. Cameras are tough. I'm not really a videographer in the sense I'm definitely more a photographer than videographer. So I really don't like doing anything with video mode in my camera, but we'll have to make do. So I apologize for it popping in and out of focus. Can you explain to all your friends wondering what the F happened on Addicts? Well, it's one of these things where there's a lot to get into. And I'm not going to be the kind of guy that's going to talk poorly of anyone else, even though I don't think that it was handled. The situation on Addicts was handled well. It's one of those things where there was a lot of miscommunication on things, and I've tried to, contact them to get a better open line of communication, and they did not really care for that. And there was, like I said, there's a lot of stuff. I don't really want to get into it just because we are still trying to remedy the situation, and I would like to come back to addicts and not have a target on my back. So yeah, I apologize for not really getting into the details of that too much. But I think you're right. I think it is trying to focus on my laptop. What if we do that? Nope, it's still trying to focus everywhere else. Maybe not. Maybe we'll try it just like this. So yeah, it is wanting to focus on everything else. That lens on there is not a very good one for that. I'm gonna try one more time. Give me just one more second here. And I'm a little bit blurry. Okay. So let me try this. Sorry, we're working through some bugs here at Alchemy Custom Weaponry. Give me 1 second here. Let me do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put this right here. This is some behind the scenes marketing stuff here. I'm gonna put that gun like that, and I'm gonna try to focus on it. Let's see if this works. Does that work? Are we getting better? Maybe that worked. Anyways, all right. So it didn't work. It's still pulsating violently. I'm sorry, y'all. This is this is one of those things like you figure out, you think you got everything figured out, and then you realize you don't. So anyways, I see a Commander ring hammer. Yes, you do. That is this gun right here. Maybe it'll focus on it. Yeah. So this is my carry gun, of course. I did empty it for the video. Pretty cool stuff. Ring hammer's definitely the way to go, for sure. I'm going to try one more thing. I apologize. We will get this going, though, one way or another. So let's see. Let's see about that. Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. Dope. All right. Let's go. Okay. This is cool stuff. All right. Let's catch back up. I apologize for all of that. Yes, it was a dumpster fire on addicts. Yes, it was. It was not trying to focus on my laptop. It was just in continual autofocus, and then setting up manual focus when you don't have another person is kind of difficult. Can you explain how to get a mustache like yours? Well, it's pretty simple. You just carry a 1911, dude. This is pretty much all you need to do. This right here will create this. And I was going to make an inappropriate comment about why this wasn't there, but that it will not be correct. Nick Morrow is watching like Big Brother, making sure that I don't do anything stupid. What is Addicts? It is a forum that is a Really interesting place. Really, really interesting place. Curious, Eli, does each alchemy model have their own group of serial numbers? For example, my prime elite is serial number 348, and is that the 348th prime elite or 348 alchemy? Alchemies are done consecutively across all the serial number models. So your prime elite would be like the 348th gun. Now, in the early days of alchemy, there were some strange things that went on with serial numbers. So I don't know how accurate in the very, very early days of the company it was. But for now, like all the guns are in order of like how many we were making. So, yes, Dad, I did go to manual. Taking a dump and watching Eli. That is what makes a really good family night is taking a crap and watching me run my mouth about 1911s. Lately, Alchemy was killing it with the launch of Commanders. Anything new in the pipes? Well, here's the thing. The way we do things with launches, we can't really tell you what's in the pipe. We can't tell you what's coming down the pipeline because it would ruin the surprise. You know, we want you to guess at what's at the end of the rainbow, and it's really fun. I think everyone enjoys that. You know, you don't want to know what's coming down. You really don't want to know. You think you want to know, you don't want to know. You want to be surprised and entertained, and that's what we do. And so, yeah, we have some badass shit. That's just kind of the moral of the story. We have some badass shit come down the pipeline. Okay, Alchemy is on the verge of uh, some pretty awesome stuff. You know, we are a small company. If you've watched the video today, we released today is the 8th, I believe. So if you're watching this after 45 Friday, we did release a video about the gunsmiths. Go back and watch it. But if you watch the video, we are a crazy small company. And so as we're growing, though, we're able to bring in new things and do new things and really try to up the ante and continue to outdo ourselves. So that's coming down the road. But you'll just have to see what's coming. Because, like I said, I'm super excited and I can't stay on the topic too long because uh, I'll probably give away secrets that I'm not supposed to. And that's no good for anyone. So, anyways, waiting on that monolith. Me and you both, Jeff. What's better, the difference between DLC and Cerakote? Well, Cerakote's like a big, thick coating. It's gotten better. Cerakote has really improved. As far as 1911 people are concerned, Cerakote really is you can attribute anything where people are like, you know, I don't like Cerakote on 1911s. You can attribute that to the USMC M45A1 contract, where a lot of people were super upset that the serial numbers, or excuse me, not the serial numbers I'm reading and like thinking, but they were super upset about the way that Cerakote interacted with the guns. The guns were known to have the Cerakote flake off pretty easily, and if you see any decommissioned M45A1s, you'll see that, and it gummed up the action. It just wasn't a good, you know, finish. And at the time, yeah, sure, Cerakote wasn't the greatest finish for a 1911. It's come a long way. I've had a lot of guns Cerakote, not Alchemies, obviously. A lot of guns Cerakoted, and they handle wear really well. They look good, and there's processes to be able to coat in a really thin manner, so that you can equate, you can work with tight-ish tolerances on certain guns. But DLC is a little bit better of a finish. It works better with tight guns, and obviously it's a little bit more, in my opinion, durable down the road. But Cerakote's a great finish. Serial numbers aren't consecutive in the order of build, but in the order of when the frames are made. Yes, Nick cleared it up for us. You know, I didn't know that even, but that's all good. Any updates on ACW merch and swag? No. Yes, but no. We are going to be moving forward. That is for sure. We will have some ACW merch, some ACW swag, and it's going to be freaking great. So be on the lookout for that. That's really all I've got to say about that. It's going to be pretty awesome. I really would like to, you know, if it was up to me, we have some designs that are pretty edgy, which is very much our branding, right? It's very much our branding. I would like to have like a Cabot Gun of the Month thing, but for really edgy alchemy swag. that no one else gets, but there's like 25 people or however many people, and we make these runs of shirts or stickers or hats or whatever, and each of they get them like once every other month or something like that. And but yeah, we have some pretty awesome designs coming. Some of which are a bit too edgy for normal production, but I will still keep in the folder. But some we will actually do. The Alchemy Gangster Weaponry T-shirt will be coming. So one thing that we actually have decided on, and I don't mind sharing this, is there will be a few shirts that are kind of going to be commonplace, and those are basically logo shirts, right? So like your Alchemy custom weaponry shirt, maybe something for warmer weather, or excuse me, colder weather, and so there's going to be some apparel that's constant, right? You're going to be able to go on the website at any time, order it, but then there's going to be sections of apparel and maybe stickers and things that are going to not be consistent, and they will be ever changing, and those designs they will be very, very entertaining. And if you're a 1911 guy, you're going to love them. And we just wanted a way to kind of express the way we feel about our company, and we think that our customers feel about our company, and have some just rad swag. I don't really like the word swag. I think it makes me feel kind of weird. But swag is what has become the word. So apparel, if you will. I'm almost finished building a Musoc. Oh, hashtag free duck. Thank you. Get my brother out the pen. I'm almost finished building a Musoc Gen 2 out of older 90s Springfield. I have Valid Precision doing the build. Absolutely the Quantico commander is in my sights. Yes, Valid Precision, great guy. I've spoke to him on several occasions. He's a good dude. You're in good hands with that Musoc build. Is 1911 gun break-in actually necessary? Real. Just got a Wilson, and they recommend 200 rounds break-in. My ACW and Colt custom shop didn't say anything about break-in. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot of guns that, depending on how they're made, like back when we used to do the hard fit guns, yeah, I would probably have suggested a break-in period. But I'll be quite honest with you. I think that just break-in in general is something that you should do with a gun. I don't think you should call it breaking in. I think you should say, hey, I'm going to take 300 rounds to evaluate the gun's performance and let anything that needs to work itself in, and just make sure that the gun works. In my opinion, it's really not a good idea just to get a gun from the gun store, maybe run a mag through it, maybe not, load it up with some JHPs and stick it in the holster. It's just not a good idea. So, the idea of break-in, yes, there are certain guns, I think, where the tolerances suggest you should do a break-in period, if you want to call it. But for the most part, you really should be doing that with any gun. No matter, production, semi-custom, custom, you should be spending 200 or 300 rounds on the gun to essentially break it in. And that's breaking it in with you, making sure it fits you and fits your needs and fits your, geometry, making sure that gun's the right for you before you put it in a holster and depend on it for your life. So yes and no. Break-in periods are kind of a weird, like, yes, there are a thing. No, I don't think every gun needs a break-in period. You just kind of have to feel a gun. Now, if you had like one of our old Alchemies where, you had to pop the slide and then rack the gun, yeah, you probably should break that gun in. But for the most part, that's not necessary on the guns we're building today. You guys need a shirt for ACW that says the finest 1911 made, parentheses, not recommended. Yes, that one would be a niche item that I think a lot of people would still buy. Familiarize yourself with, not a break-in. All guns have quirks. Yes. I'm looking like I'm a Florida State fan. But yes, absolutely. All guns have quirks, and you really have to, and even alchemies. And like I tell people all the time, the way alchemies are built, they're all built to order. They're all built kind of by a human being. So they all have their own little quirks that you need to really familiarize yourself with before you trust the gun in a capacity of like a defensive capacity, or like even a competition. Like that's not really a life or death situation, but you definitely don't want something happening that could have easily been remedied in by just breaking the gun in or just shooting it before you went out there to a competition. Yes, break in equals don't freak out if something happens until you shoot it a bit. Yes, sir. Absolutely. That is definitely something. I can tell you stories about people who have prematurely been upset. And listen, I get it. Okay. I get it. You spend a lot of money on a gun, and especially in our day and age where you can spend $500 on a Glock, and more than likely that gun will fire every time, spending $4,000 on a gun and maybe experiencing the slide not going into battery when you first shoot the first couple of magazines, that may bother some people if they're not, familiar with what exactly it is that they're getting. But I promise you, let it go. I remember when I got my first custom gun was a Springfield custom shop, and if you've ever had a professional, you know where I'm going with this. Same thing when I first shot it, and this was very early on. I think I was like 21, maybe 22, and I got this gun, and I had really not had any custom gun experience, and I'd never been around custom guns before. So I went out to shoot it, and I was having some issues with the gun. And I called my buddy. Luckily, I knew a lot of people at Springfield. So I called my buddy, and he's like, dude, just shoot it. He's like, put 500 rounds on the gun, then call me. Put 500 rounds on the gun. Never had an issue once I broke like 250 or something like that. And to this day, that Springfield custom shop has never gave me an issue. And it's a 9mm, believe it or not. So, yes, I think that that's a good period to, just get acquainted with the gun, make sure everything works out well. How about a lightweight long sleeve quarter zip? So yeah, I actually am a big fan of the lightweight. If you've seen any of the if you've seen any of our videos from NRA show, SHOT Show, pretty much any time where I'm doing something in an official capacity, I'm wearing that Under Armour quarter zip with the Alchemy logo and the Alchemy custom weaponry across the back shoulder blades. Love that shirt. That's probably my favorite shirt of all. I had those made. I actually got Nick one for Cabot, but I had those made for SHOT Show because like all of my like work shirts didn't really fit me very well. I went through a very big weight loss deal. So I agree. I think a quarter zip would be pretty gangster. We'll have to work it in. They are not cheap, and so investing in that when you don't know how many people are going to buy it, kind of one of those things. So we'll have to look into that. The not recommended shysters have been reduced to reviewing Taurus 1911s. I think we know who won that battle. Yes. Yes. Glock. Throwing up emoji. Yes, that is exactly how I feel about it. But the hard truth about the Glock pistol is it has shaped the modern pistol consumer. It has shaped what people think and expect from a gun. For $500, they should have an extremely reliable pistol. Now, is that shooting experience going to be great? Absolutely not. I mean, if anyone has shot a Glock handgun or really any polymer handgun, it is not a good shooting experience. It is not something that is enjoyable. It is a task. But when you shoot a 1911, especially one of this caliber, and I don't just mean 45, although you should be buying a 45. But when you have a 1911 of this level, you really enjoy the experience. It's something you look forward to when you go to the range, not just, hey, I need to shoot because I need to keep my skills sharp. It's like I get to shoot my Alchemy or something like that. Two-tone options or recommendations: entirely matte lower, slide with polished flats. That comes down to you. I like a matte chrome lower with a polished flat blued slide. However, I actually did see one of our guns go out to a dealer, and it had a polished blued slide and a polished hard chrome lower, and son of a gun, oh, that thing was bad. That thing was super hot. So if you're into that kind of thing, like if you want a shiny gun, that is the way to go. I mean, it looked exquisite. It was fantastic. Will y'all ever have a threaded barrel option? Listen, hey, I like shooting suppressed. I've got a Huxwork Rad 45. I like it. But from just what we've been doing, the threaded barrel sometimes bring in a lot of variables we can't account for when we're building the pistols. Now, with that being said, am I going to tell you no that we'll never do a threaded barrel? Absolutely not. Do I want to do a threaded barrel? Absolutely. I think a suppressed 45. Now, here's the thing. I think it should be, though, if you're going to buy a 9mm, you can't get it suppressed because, come on. 9mm suppressed sucked. I know you can get the 165s, like, whatever. But a 45, you're telling me I can walk into the Academy Sports and Outdoor Sports plus Outdoors, used to be a surplus store, by the way, if you didn't know that, from Katy, Texas. You telling me I can walk into the Academy and I can pick up a box of literally any 45 caliber ball ammunition, and that shit's supersonic or subsonic, and it works real great in a suppressor? Absolutely. I don't have to get in on the internet and buy Hush, 165 grain 9mm. Also, we're gonna get talk. I'm gonna get on a tangent talking about 9mm, but it gets my blood pressure up. Just kidding. I like 9mm 1911s. I've got a few. Plus, old Gaston let the president of his company go to jail for him and then stole the poor guy's wife. Just like all polymer lovers would. Well, they wouldn't try to steal the wife. They would actually try to send the wife to jail, steal the husband. Because, they're all like that. I like my hard chrome polished lower and polished blued slide. Yes, great look. Great look. I called out Mr. Not Recommended. He gave a glowing review on a specific ACW pistol, then bashed. I never got a response. Well, you never will. We are pretty much unaffiliated with them, and they have made their own bed, and they're gonna have to lay in it. I would rather have a 1911 with tighter tolerances that may need a little time to run 100% than a loosely fit one that will need anything that will feed anything right out of the gate. I think that's something that it's one of those things. Like, you can't keep everyone happy. There are going to be people who are like, I want a 1911. I don't care how it looks, how it sounds, shaking it. But if I need it to run everything. And then you have some people who are like, I will literally buy one type of ammunition if I have to keep this 1911 running as long as it's the tightest tolerance that it can be. It's one of these things where it's a line that people continue to fight over. Gemtech Black Slide, the OG 1911 suppressor. Oh, yeah, that's cool stuff. Yeah, it's got to be a 45, LOL. 9mm defeats the purpose. Yes, it does. Like I told my son, parentheses, who likes 9mm 1911s now, Glocks are stamped out by machines' computers. 1911s are made by humans. Well, it's interesting. The 1911s that we build, right, they're very in line with like the very first 1911s that came out. But that wasn't the idea for the gun. Keep in mind that this is a martial firearm. This is a firearm that was designed to be used by a military. And so the gun was designed to be built in high numbers. But when you refine it, when you bring it back and you slow it down, and you don't have to try to build pistols to go fight the Austro-Hungarian Empire or the Nazis. Two separate wars, by the way. Don't try to get me on both. But when you try to do that, you have to, there has to be some level of tolerancing and some degradation of quality to increase production value. And of course, when you slow that down, like in the commercial years pre-45, so like your 1920 to 1919 to 1940. 41, I guess you could technically say. Well, I wouldn't even say 41 because they were building pistols for other countries at that point. So let's say 38, 39, right? Those guns are extremely well made, extremely nice for what they are, right? But then you look at a wartime pistol, right? And it's always funny because they're like, that Remington Rand's the best gun I ever. Let me tell you, I've got a Remington Rand. Let me go get it. It's not a great gun. So this is my Remington Rand. Okay. This gun is actually, this gun has never seen an arsenal. So like, as far as like, a lot of guns, like I've got an M1 Garand that has several different parts, got an M1 carbine that has several different parts. But this particular gun, I don't know if an officer had it or what, but this particular 1943 Remington Rand, yes, has never been re-arsenaled. So it is as it was delivered, and it's in really good condition, which probably means it didn't see any warfare. However, when you look at this gun, it is immaculately poorly built, to the point that I actually used grease on these frame rails where I normally use I used grease on this gun because the frame to slide fit was not And even then, it's still pretty bad. You look at the safety, the way that it fits. I know you won't be able to see it, but you can see the safety overhangs the frame. The thumb safety overhangs the frame back here. Your grip safety is extremely poorly fit. Actually, the back of this gun is fairly well built, to be honest. But there's a lot of things where you look at these guns, you can see the machine marks in them, and you're like, it served its purpose, but it can be done better. And so that's where the custom 1911 really shines. I do. It's one of those like hard things where you're like, well, old world craftsman, yes, but you do have to remember that the 1911 was made to be a martial firearm, not something that takes an excessively long time to make because you're making it while fighting the Germans in both wars. And so it is one of those things where when you get to see this, it really makes you appreciate the work that's going into this gun and the time and the energy that's spent in building one of these alchemy pistols. But this is cool, and this is a cool piece of history. I'll never tell someone they shouldn't have one of these guns, but these are not really well-built guns when you begin to take them apart and look at everything. But they didn't have to be. All they had to do was shoot. Not even accurately, just shoot. I'm poor, so feeding anything is important to me. That's funny. I'm not a huge 9mm fan. Larry Vickers was raving about them, so I bought a Dan Wesson Vigil lightweight commander with a ramp barrel. It really is a gem to shoot and really well made. Yeah, Dan Wesson does a good job with their stuff. And yeah. CN Arsenal has a great series on the 1911. Yes, if you love 1911s, you need to watch all of them. They go from the Colt 1900, 1902, 1903, 1905. I don't actually, yeah, they talk about the 03, the 05. Then they talk about the prototypes, the 07, the 010s. The 010 sounds like the campaign, but they talk about the 10s, and then they talk about actually the first iteration of the 1911, and then what actually went into production, and they talk about all sorts of cool stuff. So if you've not watched CN Arsenal, you need to. It is fantastic, required reading for the class. Would love to get an ACW double stack 45, hoping to see that in the future. Maybe. I like 45, and I like having a lot of 45s, so maybe. Poorly fit by a human, Glocks serve a purpose, but it's molded by a machine and plastic pellets. Yes. Yes, and at the end of the day, these guns, even though they're not crazy well built, the history and everything associated with them does make up for that. But now that we can have guns with a little bit of soul, a little bit of Americana, it just makes you proud. Like when you hold, like, let me just grab it, like a Quantico, right? Like you see this Quantico. When you hold this gun, it's like you're proud to be an American. You're proud to be a member of the greatest race of human beings that have ever walked the earth, the American race. We're the best, okay? Screw the Romans, screw the Mongols, the United States. We can literally wipe off cities off the map, and we've done it. So, and we did it with pretty easily and pretty fast. We are the greatest race of humans has ever walked the earth, the Americans. And I love that. I love that about us. It's the story of so many different cultures that it combined into the greatest nation that this world has ever seen. And this 1911 is so integral to it. I would argue that our most defining years in becoming a superpower that we are, the 1911 was on the hip of soldiers and civilians and law enforcement, everybody. It's the iconic, it's the American sidearm. When you ask a European what they think the Americans do, they think we wake up in the morning, we throw our 1911 on, and we eat 12 pounds of bacon. And the only thing that's wrong about that is I actually eat 13 pounds of bacon, you Fritz. So, yeah, we're pretty awesome. Go America. Would it be possible to get a square notch rear sight instead of the U-notch? Actually, send me an email. I'll look. We don't really have people ask. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to be just dead honest with you. You could tell me this sight right here was a square notch. I promise that wouldn't make a difference to me. I am so target focused these days, especially if I have something really nice like a gold bead front sight. I just don't even pay attention to the rear sight. As long as it's blacked, as long as it's black out in the rear, I don't pay attention to the rear sight. So I apologize from that. Just went to the NRA Museum in Virginia. So many guns. That is on my list of places to go. And I'm not very far, so that would be a great place to go. Just saw the Meet the Smiths video from today. I'm curious if you have records to look back on older ACW build to see who the Smith that built it. I'm always curious about stuff like that. Shoot me an email. I will, if you don't have my email, it is Eli, E-L-I, at cabotguns.com. Shoot me an email. I will get you squared away on the Smiths, because there usually is multiple, that built your gun. The 1911 is the greatest It is the greatest creation. It really is. You know, I have a safe full of guns, right? And I have a lot of guns that are super rad. But there's nothing that just I just sometimes will, you know, grab a gun, and I have so many 1911s right here. I'm just like trying to pick one. This one has a ring hammer, so we'll go with that. I'm like, there's so many days where I just kind of will sit in this chair and just look at the 1911 and bask in its glory. And it's one of these things where it's like, that is maybe not advantageous from a production or a productive standpoint, but it's you know, it's a way to waste my time that feels good. I mean, this gun is incredible. It is got so much history wrapped up in it, and its very silhouette is recognizable across the world. There is nothing that is that iconic, in my opinion, besides maybe pizza. I do think pizza is pretty iconic. I do like pizza. And guess what, Italians? Americans do pizza better. So, you know, that just goes back into the theme of America's the greatest race of human beings ever. So, why isn't the 1911 on the American flag? That actually would be pretty epic. Not that I'm one to want to change the American flag. I am not. But if it had a 1911 on it, it would be pretty amazing. Will do, holding 346 in hand right now. Well, send me a message and I will definitely get back to you probably over the weekend and actually get to you on that. Have you ever been to the John Browning Museum in Utah? The pilgrimage to Ogden. And I know that's like saying Utah and like saying pilgrimage and using a little bit of religious references in that situation, maybe a little bit weird concerning the Mormon presence in Utah. I'm not Mormon. I do love John Browning. I'm not Mormon. I'm Southern Baptist. But yeah, we are going to make the pilgrimage to Ogden, Utah, and visit the John Moses Browning Museum. And actually, that trip is scheduled very soon. And we actually will be doing a vlog. V-L-O-G. That's one of those words that doesn't feel right coming out of a Southern person's mouth. Vlog. So we're going to be doing a vlog about the trip. It's going to be me and Nick Morrow, Nick the Dick. You love him, you hate him, or you both. And we're going to do a vlog about our trip to Ogden and visiting the John Moses Browning Museum. It's going to be pretty epic. I'm really excited for that particular video, and I think y'all will enjoy it. It will be a purely fun video. We won't be trying to sell you nothing, and it's just going to be us having a good time because both of us have always wanted to go there, and I never see 1911 manufacturers talk about going to Ogden to do a video at the John Browning Museum, and I'm like, dude, how? Like, why is that not like one of the easiest videos to do? Like, you want to pay respects back to the dude who literally puts your business, you know, gives you business because that's the product you make. So we're excited to do that. I'm excited to get that done. So our ACWs built one gun, one gunsmith, like Nighthawk smithing area where all smiths work on the guns. Player X does all barrel fitment. So we actually are not quite as... We have a lot of cross-trained smiths. We do not do the one gunsmith, one whatever, like Nighthawk does. That's a great, hey, I love that for them. There is nothing wrong with that. That is a fantastic system. But the way we do it is, you know, we do it where people who excel at certain things are the ones who do those things. We do have some people who are cross-trained in case like somebody is out, they can take that over. And we have just a team that's, the thing about our team, even though we do a little bit more of a, you know, you do this and then you do something else. The thing about our team is they're all so hungry to learn and to be proficient at everything involving building a 1911. So yes, that's how we do things. Just, I got on a little bit of a tangent there. The Commander with a ring hammer. Yeah, it is the sauce. But a 5-inch gun with the ring hammer is kind of the sauce too. And I think I really like a 5-inch gun with a ring hammer. I'll be sitting in my house working on something, watching TV, and I'll randomly go to my safe and fondle my 1911s. It's one of those things, man. Like, I don't do a lot of work for alchemy. Like when I'm working during the day, I don't like doing it in this area, which this is actually like the best area to work in, to be honest. My gunsmithing, I am not a gunsmith. My bench of cussing, we'll call it, because I typically will start projects that are way above my pay scale and end up cussing on them. So this is my bench of cussing in the safe there, and I'll just like randomly get up and be like, oh man, that's pretty cool. I just start looking at it, and then I spend the whole day just, you know, oh yeah, that's super cool. So yeah, it's just one of those things where the 1911 can be distracting. It is more distracting than a beautiful woman that's naked, you know, for those of you that like women. Uh, Best looking pistol ever made, Browning High Power is number 2. Yeah, the Browning High Power is a good looking pistol. I guess if we're going through the aesthetic of it, the Browning High Power is a really good looking pistol. Its performance pisses me off though. To be a child of Browning, actually, you know what? I'm not. No, the 1903 pocket hammerless or '08 pocket hammerless is way better looking than a Browning High Power. Don't come at me. All of the Colt pistols leading up to the 1911 are better looking than the Browning High Power. So like, have you seen an FN 1900? Teddy Roosevelt carried one of those that was engraved. That is a, I can't say it. That is a badass gun. I can say that. But yeah, High Point Yeet number 3. That's funny. Nick and Eli go to Ogden. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. That is going to be a good one. I hope it ends up like kind of like you know, we run across like some shit, you know, and maybe that'll be a good. Maybe we can make that into a movie. I want to go work trip. Will the Quantico double diamond grips fit my older Prime 45? If so, do I call it purchase? So the Quantico grips actually are available on the website if we have some in stock. So you can usually just get those through the website. It should fit your old Prime 45, no problem. I don't know why there would be a problem. If there is, though, we can work through it. But there shouldn't be a problem with that. The Quantico double diamonds, as you know, I've put them on this gun. I think they're fantastic. I think they're an excellent grip. I'm very happy with them, and they look sick on this gun, in my opinion. But I'm clearly biased. You're a really good looking pistol. The High Power is Browning's stepkid. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He did not finish the design. It was hindered by the French, and then it was made by a Belgian. So there's a lot of things involved there. Josh wants to go on a work trip. Gunsmith Gal Tori is saying, you can't. We have to build the guns. Look at her being responsible. I would have let him come, but too bad. Didn't Browning ever see the high power come to fruition? I thought a French guy finished it. I don't know if Souvent, or however you say his name, is French or Belgian. I think he might be Belgian. He did work for FN in Belgium, but he could have been French, I guess. They're all kind of terrible in their own way. But it was essentially, he did not see the finished product. It was hindered heavily by French military contract, and also finished by a foreigner of either Belgian or French descent. Actually, let's look together. We have the internet. Guy who designed the FAL, because that's the guy who designed. Okay. It was designed in Belgium by, and I cannot say his name, Dion Dune Save. Like, I mean, what do the Europeans do? Like, do they understand how English works? Because Dieudonne with a little tick over the top, Saive. What is that? What is that even? You know what that sounds like? Can't win 2 world wars is what that sounds like. That's how you pronounce that. But anyways, let's look him. Oh, his middle name is Joseph. I can say that. He is a Belgian. So the guy who finished the High Power was a Belgian, but it was designed originally for a French contract. So I like the High Power visuals, but I just can't. Yeah, it is not a fun gun to shoot. Like, anyone who's like, oh, I love shooting my Browning High Power, and it isn't a Mark III Firearms Browning High Power, that's the only exception. I'm like, you are lying. You are a hipster. You are lying. And you know, I get it. Rhodesia is cool, but chill out. Oh gosh. Do Europeans understand how English works? Eli motherfucking Duckworth. Yes. The humble marksman really liked the Quantico high cap. Yes, I saw that video. He did like it. Good guy. With a name like Grande Puissance, I think that's how it's spelled. It was doomed from the from the start. Oh. NASCAR trucks are coming on at 9. You better get off. What time? Yeah, it is. It is close to 9. I'll be honest with you. Truck Series doesn't get me going the way it used to. Truck Series is cool though, but it don't get me going the way it used to. I'm there for the cars. But yeah, we listen. Okay, we're a little politically incorrect. It's fine. It's all good. I did at least make the effort to be correct with my information and try to tell you that he was a Belgian, not a Frenchman, and his name is ridiculous. I don't know if there's a way I can type on here to tell you his name. Oh, I can. Ho ho ho, boys, ladies and gentlemen. This is just in. I can type back to y'all. Hold on. I'm going to type it in the comments here. Is the guy's name. There it is. And you can tell me if you know how to pronounce that, because I promise you I don't. But, you know, I like, I'm going to be honest with you. Southern English, if you want to even call it Southern American, can't even print, like my mouth cannot make the shapes that are required for that particular. So Bob wants to know if Nick is carrying a boombox. So if many of you don't know, my boss, Nick Morrow, Nick the Dick, he has a picture of him holding something on as his, like, you know, profile picture here. It is not a boom box. I mean, it is a boom box. What happens when it is turned on is quite indeed a boom, but it is not a boom box like, you know, you listen to music. So there's that. If Nick and Eli don't manage to get a 4-wheel drive panel van to tour the country and speak the gospel of JMB, I don't want it. That would be epic if, you know, Nick the Dick and I just toured the country and spoke the words and the teachings of John Moses Browning. It'd be a wonderful time. The thing with that is that Nick has a family. I do not. So I would be very game for that. Nick would not be. Something about children. I don't know. I don't understand what that is. That word doesn't necessarily compute to me, but Nick has them and they're almost my age. They are actually closer to my age than I am to his age because he's old. But yeah, that would be fun. Giving away guns along the way. I don't think we'll be giving away guns. Doesn't Nick already have a 4-wheel drive van? Nick does have a 4-wheel drive van. It is a lifted pedo van. It is something else. Standing on the corner with a megaphone talking about JMB. You've heard of street preaching, but have you heard of street John Moses Browning prophesizing? Okay. And you know, listen, it's a pretty cool club, right? We like cool cars, good looking women, working out, and 19 freaking 11s, baby. It's a cool way to go. Is how you pronounce it. Yeah, I think that is how you pronounce it. You know, the Europeans, man, they just like making my life hard. I do want to tell you a fun story. So if you're here, you get to have story time. We were actually we were at SHOT Show, and this German group came to our booth, and they were the CZ Custom shooters, right? So these are the guys who shoot for CZ Custom in Europe, and they're a professional team. And they've got all their stuff on, and they've got one German dude behind the camera and one German dude talking to us, and they both sound like German. Like, you think when you watch videos with Germans, like in World War II, and like, think about Hogan's Heroes. Yes, I know what Hogan's Heroes is. It's a fantastic show. I love every episode. Think about Sergeant Schultz, and you think, do Germans really sound like that? Well, I'm here to tell you, folks, they do. They do sound like Sergeant Schultz, and it is awesome. And so these Germans come up, and they're like, hey, we want to do a video with you, blah, blah, blah. So we do the video. And I'm talking about hot rods almost as much as I'm talking about 1911s. And, he's looking at me kind of like I'm, like, what is this dude talking about? I don't even know what I'm talking about. See, that's what you do. You got to stay one step ahead of them by staying one step ahead of yourself. If you don't know what you're going to do, they can't know what you're going to do. That's how I feel about things. And so I'm talking to him about 1911's hot rods, and I'm, eating a lot of beef. And the German camera guy, okay, he's there. He's the content man, okay, and he was a good one, by the way. I'll tell you that. The stereotype about Germans being anal about things and not doing anal, being anal about things, especially when it comes to things being perfect. That is totally true. They are definitely like that. And so he's got everything set up. It's like being in a weird casting couch. We were on couches too. So that was kind of, I was feeling some things. I was like, I don't know, like, do I take my clothes off? But I didn't. And so he goes, he's wanting to finish it up with a little bit of controversy, right? He's sitting there, he's the director, he's hitting the, and he's like, I want some controversy. Like, let's do, and keep in mind, they shoot for CZ Custom. So he goes, yeah, so can you do the little bit of the argument between the CZ, style pistol and the 1911? So maybe we can talk about, you takes the 1911 side, you takes the CZ side, and maybe we can talk about how they are different and which one is better. So that was what he wanted to talk about. He wanted us to try to argue about 1911 versus whatever CZ they were talking about. I don't even know. I got a CZ, but hell, I don't even know what CZ they were wanting to compare the 1911 to. So anyways, the German who's the big time shooter, he looks at this guy and he goes, there's no comparison. There's no need to do this video. This is not needed. The 1911 is the greatest pistol ever made. If you're a shooter, you know this. The 1911 will always be the best shooting handgun, and this will not change. There's no need to do this argument. We are done here. And I was like, damn. These Germans got it going on, you whoop their ass twice and they learned something, And so that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, man, all you got to do is go over there and, take 1911, hit them over the head with it twice, and they'll learn what the best damn pistol in the world is. And it is the 1911. And so I thought that was hilarious. And also he did end up bleeding at some point. I'm not sure why, but I just leaned over and said, hey, that's not the first time a 1911 has made a German bleed. And he kind of looked at me a little bit, strangely. But anyways, we're fun. That's what SHOT Show is like. If you're able to go to SHOT Show, visit us. We are a extremely fun company to be around at SHOT Show. Actually, SHOT Show is when we kind of come off the leash a little bit because, we it's a good time. It's a fun time for us. And so, that is my story for y'all. We probably are getting close to being banned from SHOT Show because, again, the sign in front of Glock, they didn't care for that. If you aren't familiar, if you're watching this sometime later, because this will be saved for the interwebs to basically tell me I suck later on down the road, but we actually stood in front of Glock's booth with a sign that said Austria 0, USA 2, and then just had 1911 below it. And it was a crude, so here's the thing, you can't put too much effort. You can't let them think that you're putting too much effort into it. So it was a very crude, I think we took the cardboard from one of the beer, like they were loading beer up or something, and they had like the cases, and we took the cardboard from literally somebody who was loading up cans of something, and we just took it, and then we had a big black marker. So we done, we do a lot of fun stuff. We are definitely not your average 1911 company. If you've ever called us on the phone and talked to us, I am talking to you like we're just been buddies our whole life. So we have a great time, and some places don't care for that great time, and some people are really about it. So I heard Glock teamed up with Bud Light. Oh my gosh, probably. Good to see you. Good to see you, sir. It's always great to be seen. And so, hey, listen, guys, I want everyone, like, this is a little bit off topic, right? But, we have a great time and we love getting to meet our customers, getting to know y'all really well. And so make sure you try to make it out to the shows. Come see us. We want to see you. So, You know, if you like having a good time talking about craziness and prophesizing about our Lord and Savior John Moses Browning, you will want to come see us at the shows. We are a lot of fun. We like doing videos and pictures with everyone, and it is a great time to be alive. So I love it. And I know we've not talked much about 1911s. Like really, we've kind of gone off the rails here. So if you do have any questions about 1911s, I have got a lot of them here. Actually, I have a whole case. Give me 1 second here. Oh, I'm gonna move that. Got a whole friggin' row of 1911s here. So we can talk about 1911s because I got them right here, Bo. Oh. Everyone watching needs to hit the like button to help these guys out. Thank you, Jason. We definitely appreciate it. Like I said, we're a growing company, you know, and we've just kind of figured out, man, like, you know, we could do things the way everyone else does and be successful, right? There's plenty of great companies in our space that have been successful. The formula is there, right? The solution to the math problem is right there on the board. But we don't pay attention to class, you know. We kind of just do what we want. And so we're going to just see if we crash and burn, or if we fly high. Not like Icarus. You don't want to fly so high that you burn and fall and die. That was not fun for him. All right, let's catch up here. I'm waiting for the Gangsta 1911 to release. It's funny you mentioned that. I actually have a Quantico being built, and you will appreciate the slide roll mark that is being put on that gun. Still waiting on stickers from SHOT Show to become available. They will be. So hold your horses. I just want Rob to build me a railed 10mm in his style. That is all. Well, ask him. He may. Our 9mm 1911 is considered blasphemy. I want to get one because I want to shoot a lot and it'll be cheaper that way. I don't think they're a blasphemy. If you look back at Browning's designs leading up to the 1911, he had developed the 1900, the 1902, the 1903 pocket hammer gun, right? All in the 38 ACP. Please hold. This is a Colt model 1902 in 38 ACP. Bam. It's like a freaking, you know, John Moses Browning shrine back there. So this is actually one of the early guns. And if you actually look at 38 ACP, it is more along the lines of 9mm than a 45. Well, the Thompson-Lagarde test of 04-05, not 2004, 2005, 1904, 1905, really swayed the Army and also the insurrections in the Philippines and some other imperialistic duties the United States was in at the time all over the world. Kind of brought us back to having a larger caliber bullet. And so from 04-05, after that, the 1905 came out in 45 ACP, and it was kind of a closed case after that. But if you look at where he was going, if it wouldn't have been for the U.S. Army, the gun probably, or at least a variation, because again, the 1911 itself is heavily influenced by the U.S. Army, specifically the cavalry. The gun was kind of heading for like more of a 9mm caliber. However, you know, the Holy Trinity interfered, brought 45 up, and boom, there we have the greatest handgun cartridge ever. So yeah, 9mm 1911s are great. If you are looking for the best shooting experience ever, without going to like a comp gun where you basically have like a 6-pound recoil spring and ammunition that won't go across a football field, if you want the best shooting experience in a fighting gun, the 9mm 1911 is going to give you that. It is a fantastic shooting gun, but you will have to pay the wuss tax with 9mm. With Alchemy, you will have to pay $150 more because that is our wuss tax. And you might have to write me a letter and say, I'm a wuss, can I have 9mm? Can you show a comparison between a CCO versus a Quantico carry? Curious on the size difference. Yes. Maybe. Yes. So this is the, yeah, I pulled the right one. That's the Quantico. It's black. So Quantico carry. And this is the CCO. Now this one has, I'm actually going to take the magazine out. This has an SRO. So both of these guns have SROs. So in this frame, you really can't tell that they're much different. But this one and will be good. Empty, hammer down, empty, hammer down. Okay. So you can really tell here, you know, that length difference is pretty substantial. The slides themselves are the same, but the length in the frame is where, especially this gun having the magwell on it, that's a pretty big difference. So, is Alchemy planning to offer any Carbona, not Carbonier, rust or royal blue besides the hot bluing? How much does a hot bluing cost? Well, like hot salt bluing is a standard. So like that's our normal finish. I'm kind of confused by the question. Maybe I'm just kind of an idiot, and maybe I'm like my brain's fried. So the hot salt bluing is a standard finish. Like this gun right here, this prime, that's hot salt bluing. I don't think we're probably going to add any different bluing other than the charcoal blue that we use on the charcoal blue guns. So, does ACW test fire each 1911 before it goes out the door? Well, yes and no. We do test fire the guns, but they are test fired before they're finished, because we don't want to like mar up your finish. Especially like commanders have a bad tendency to want to eject casings back into the slide. Pulls out a skeleton of JMB. Yeah. Is a test target included with the 1911? No, we didn't. We used to back when we did 1-inch accuracy guarantees. We don't anymore. Is there a mechanical advantage to a two-tone 1911 being hard chrome or stainless frame and the darker slide, or is it visual preference? I'm going to talk out of my ass. I actually don't know why that originally was the look. The only thing I can think of is when you're carrying the part of the gun that's most exposed to your skin when you're in most holsters is the frame. So my thought back in the 80s, because you got to think stainless on a 1911 with Colt. Now, I believe that there were some, like an AMT, I believe they had stainless 1911s before Colt in like the late 70s. But Colt actually did not have a stainless gun until the mid 80s. And so you got to think at that time, bluing being the only option you have, if you're using it hard use, like if you're using it for IPSC or whatever shooting competitions they had, PPC back in the day, you're using it for that, you're going to be sweating on that gun in a holster. And so I think that the idea there was it could increase the durability of the guns and obviously give you a layer of protection against bluing, or instead of bluing, it give you a layer of protection and increase the durability of the frames themselves. So thought process there would be that you could two-tone the frame, be a little cheaper, but still have a little bit of protection. And obviously then you could full hard chrome a gun if you wanted the whole protection. Now I will tell you, a lot of people want to act like hard chrome is like this fancy finish done for looking good, right? Like you see a gun like this, hold your horses, like this, right? And that's freaking gangster looking, right? Like it's a badass gun. But the hard truth of it, the hard truth of hard chrome, is that the finish was designed with a purpose. It was designed to be a hard use finish. It was designed for guns that were going to be shot a lot. And it really was not intended originally as a finish that you did to like make the gun look good. It was designed to protect the gun, to strengthen the gun, and to, look, I mean, it wasn't designed to look good, but man, it looks good. Like I love hard chrome so much. This is matte hard chrome. This is polished hard chrome. Like sometimes I look at hard chrome and I forget what I'm saying. That's what just happened. Oh, brother. Classic blue is too good to pass up on, though. Yes. And you know what, though? Like when you think about it, like Alchemy offers a polish blue as our standard finish. Like, come on. This finish is standard with an Alchemy. Like, come on. You know, a lot of places it'll be a nitride. A lot of places it'll be like an armor coat or an armor tough or whatever Cerakote-esque finish they want. Our standard finish is a classic polished blued that looks like that. Are you kidding me? Like, that's incredible. And this looks so good. This gun is really nice. It's got a great trigger. Fantastic trigger, actually. Oh, I need that magazine, actually, though. Boop-a-doop, boop-a-doop. I keep forgetting where I put all these magazines, and I keep putting them in the guns. Cool. Okay. Has anyone ordered a hard chrome slide and frame but no DLC? No, because we don't mix and match hard chrome and DLC. Don't ask me why. That's just how it is. My ACW is blue with ebony grips. Y'all should offer a black trigger. That would have been perfect. Well, we can do a black trigger. We can do a black trigger, but you got to think that black is going to be a little different spectrum than the blue. Like, even if you look at that, right, and you look at this, so that is black. That would be the color of the trigger. And so I don't know if that would look quite as good, but I understand that the look you're going for is that old school 1911 where everything's blued. They used a steel trigger that was blued. They used a steel, like a carbon steel barrel, and it was blued, you know, hammer, obviously. And I like that look too, but we definitely, I don't know if black is the color that you want it to go with a polished blued gun. I wasn't a fan of hard chrome until I got my Quantico high cap. Looks so good in person. It looks good regardless, I think. I just think it's a great look. Are the hammers stainless on ACWs? Some. Some are, some aren't. It depends on supply chain availability. Some are carbon steel, some are stainless steel. So you are such a cute goofball, but your knowledge of the history of 1911 is impressive. Well, thank you. I appreciate the cute goofball. I will take any compliment that I can get. So I appreciate that. All right, homie, I'm out. Keep up the Lord's work. Well, see you, buddy. Well, yeah, I meant blued to match the frame and slide. Yes. Well, the issue with doing a blued like trigger in modernity is that you run into the fact that you can't really blue aluminum. And that's what we use, aluminum shoe triggers, right? Now, back in the day, when you see, hold on. Yeah, that'll work. This is a 1918. Is it my night? Yeah, this is my U.S. property gun. Now, you see that trigger is blued. Now, it's also because that trigger's steel. Now, here's the thing, is that actually that weight of the steel trigger actually degrades your trigger job or trigger feel, right? So a steel trigger is really hard to make feel good versus an aluminum trigger is much easier. And so, you know, that's one of the big reasons you don't see a lot of custom 1911s using a steel trigger and then bluing it like this, which is a fantastic, I mean, that is a great looking gun. You know, U.S. property marked, has a fantastic looking gun. U.S. property mark 1918, correct barrel proof. And this is also a carbon steel barrel with the actual bluing on the barrel. Great look, fantastic look. The issue is the trigger, and you will give up a little bit of trigger weight to get that steel trigger shoe to have a blued trigger. Off my soapbox. Hard chrome was an idea that Armand Swenson got from his boat building days. Same with checkering. He figured if it works in the Pacific, it'll work inside of a holster soaked with tanning oil and ass sweat. That's great. I actually did not know that. That is a wonderful little anecdote. Armand Swenson, one of the great 1911 gunsmiths of the 1900s. Wonderful little anecdote. I love that. Love that so much. Can you explain why the CCO is the greatest 1911 configuration ever made? Listen, here's the thing, buddy. I am a 5-inch 45 guy. Okay, so yeah, I can't really make that argument. I think the 5-inch 45 is the way to go. Aluminium, as our brothers across the pond might say, aluminium sucks. Well, kind of. Yeah, there are certain parts like the trigger shoe where you can get away with aluminum. as we say when in a country that beat the Nazis. But when you talk about building like a lightweight commander, as this comment is, the trade off is not there. It's not advantageous to you. Okay, everyone thinks they want a lightweight gun. What you want is a good belt and a good holster. I promise. That is what you need, and you will be remedied of your wants of a lightweight gun. Get a good belt, good holster. You can carry a steel frame all the time. You're not losing enough weight that it makes it better to carry, but you're losing enough weight that it makes it suck to shoot, kind of deal. And unless you have like a gangster, like a CT Bryant lightweight gun, I don't know. I mean, even then, I think I'd prefer the same gun in a steel frame configuration. So, hard chrome 1911 is on my bucket list. Could you anodize the color to match? That is actually a good idea. We'll have to look at that. What is the correct barrel proof? This actually is a P-marked barrel. Actually, no, it's not. It's the HP mark. I can't really show you, but it has the H and the P, where the HP are on the same line, like that line and the H on the. So you have like an H, right? This line here also makes the P, and that should be the correct barrel for this particular run of 1918s. Heavy steel triggers with light triggers also have a tendency to turn into auto pistols like a bump stock. Lightweight trigger. Yeah, Nick has just made himself sound like he is drunk. Will hard chrome still work even if there's semen everywhere? Yes, hard chrome will still work. A good alternative to blued steel triggers would be aluminum trigger shoe finished in black ion bond. The only drawback is that the ion bond doesn't always play well with Cerakote. Yeah, so we could. There's definitely finish options for the aluminum triggers, but the thing is, you'll always be chasing an iconic look, right? You're always going to be chasing that blued look, and it's going to be hard to do. Like this is going to be hard to replicate without doing a steel trigger. Now, might we do a line of guns and have a steel trigger option where we can blue it? Potentially, maybe. Who knows? We're kind of squirrely like that. So maybe. Will a hard chrome gun fit in the same holster as a blue one? Yes, I will demonstrate. Maybe. Oh, here's a good holster. This is from Ethan Douglas of Douglas Leather Co. It's pretty badass, actually. It looks like the old Western holsters. I can't remember what his name for this, but this is like super old school gunfighter. So anyways, hard chrome pistola. Fits. If it fits, it ships. Pull out hard chrome pistola. Put over here. Blued pistola. I don't have a blued. Well, this will work. U.S. Army blued gun. Works. And it looks good. See, that's a period correct setup. Not really. This is technically a 1918 U.S. property gun. This would be a little bit more appropriate, like a 1913 gun. Would be pretty cool in this, actually. I think maybe even in the 20s. Yeah, that actually would look pretty good, like a 20s or 30s commercial gun. Anyways, they work. That's all I'm saying there. Why does Bear make their frame? I cannot talk about Bear. Period. It's in a contract, I chase an all black look sometimes, just like my cousin chasing baby daddies. Oh my God. Oh, y'all are, see, and here's the thing, right? Like, we get in trouble for being degenerates, but y'all are degenerates. So, it works out. It works out just fine. Running joke from the start of history is hard chrome adds thickness, LOL. Yes, that is a running joke. And it does, when we're fitting back guns after they get back from hard chrome, you know, you might could argue that. But as far as like fitting in holsters, and maybe I'm not old enough. Maybe that's like one of y'all old people jokes, right? And I'm just sitting here like putting guns in holsters like an idiot. You know, you just made me embarrass myself. I shall now commit seppuku, which is the Japanese formal suicide, which you didn't think I knew that, but I did. And anyways, now I feel bad because y'all just boomer joked me and I didn't even know. Mirror polished blue in the works. No. And mirror polish to me does not look good. Like maybe I'm like weird like that, but I've never thought like a mirror polished gun actually looked really good. I don't know. Like I just, and I'm not saying like I'm definitely one that likes to look at myself. So like seeing myself in the 1911, but the only reflection I want to see back to me in the 1911 is John Moses Browning's. Okay. I ain't worried about seeing my own reflection. Have you considered having an open house at Fort Wayne? You could have models on display and some barbecue, make it a party. Maybe that actually could be fun. The biggest thing is just, how many people would come to that, and the other problem is being there with Cabot having a lot of things that people can't see legally. It is really difficult to kind of navigate that. So that would be the problem. I like my guns like I like oh my gosh. That's an A+ comment there. 1911 fans making HR departments cry one shit post at a time. Yes. Well, I made our HR department cry because I showed up to a work meeting without my shirt on when I was in the pool and I answered the meeting call. A golden gun. I would do a golden gun, but the only caveat to a gold gun would be it would have to be Super 38. You can't have a gold gun in 45. That's just not going to work. You have to have a gold gun in Super 38. It's the only thing that makes freaking sense. Any ACW styled knives? No, we have the I don't have one on me. Yeah, I do. No, I don't. We have the Sandrine knives that we import from Italia. And they're pretty good. So check them out. But that's like our knives, I guess, us and Cabot. Can you talk the Anomaly for a moment? What was different on it? Oh my Jesus. So the Anomaly was a 4.5-inch barrel. It had like no beaver tail. So imagine this gun not even had like just the frame tang with no beaver tail. There it is. And then the hammer was literally just like not like just this part. Right? So like there was no like spur. And yes, it was an anomaly for sure. I would like to see a black ACW t-shirt with the ARM logo on the front and the back that says, if you know, you know. That actually would be a good one. ACW definitely is a company that if you know, you know, definitely works out. Is the high cap fine running plus P? Yes, but like anything, plus P is higher chamber pressure. So just be cautious of what you're doing. And also just be understanding that, any gun with that kind of high cycle of plus P should be, properly maintained, change out the recoil and the mainsprings. There's that. Do you have a Colt Super 38? I actually do. Hold on. This is not Alchemy related, but what you're going to see is an Alchemy representative that loves 1911s, and 1911 history. But this is my Super. Now, y'all know, okay, that I have a lowrider. Okay, that's common knowledge by this point. The Alchemy guy has a lowrider, so you have to have a gun to go with your lowrider, and that is this 1968 Colt Super 38. Everything's stock on it except for the grips, which are incredible. I love them, and I do plan on sending this gun out to a build because I'm gonna be honest with you, unless it's a pre-45 Colt, and even then we've proven that I will absolutely hot rod that. I kind of just see these guns as base guns that have a little bit more price tag on them. Because of obviously the markings and what they are. So I do plan on sending this gun to somebody to build me out. And Part of me wants to build it into a true fighting gun. Part of me wants to legitimately gold plate this joker and actually do a Super 38 like Chicano style. The grips are fantastic. They are a pony, a Colt pony with an American flag mosaic. They are something special. So yes, I do have a Super 38. It is an old Colt, 1968, which is a pretty cool gun. There, we're gonna put that up. Thanks for doing the high cap commander. Didn't end up buying one, but decided to get something else based on a photo you posted on the Addict site. Cool. Well, I'm not allowed to post on the Addict site, so we can't talk about that. Tokarov looking. No, Tokarov sucks. What's the roll mark mean? A or A strong? I don't know this. You're gonna have just a dude. You're gonna have to expand on that thought. What's the roll mark mean? No one at the local gun stores in my area knows ACW. That is essentially the position we're in. We're a small company. I tell people that all the time. Nighthawk Customs has more people in their sales department than we have, I think, period. So it's one of these things where you really have to take in it. We are a growing company, and we're really trying to pace our growth so that we don't outgrow ourselves. So, keep that in mind. I understand that a lot of gun stores don't know who we are, but those who are in the know, and we will hopefully be a household name one day. But right now we're starting off, it's just, we got to build the base and build up from there, right? Kind of a Tower of Babel, but without the part where the tower gets destroyed, so check out the Cabot Bad Hombre for the Super 38. Yes, the Cabot Bad Hombre is kind of badass. Ported models in the works. Maybe not ported. Comps are kind of cool, though. They're kind of old school. I'm brand new to firearms, and I was fortunate to find Alchemy pretty much right off the bat. Dope. Love that. Love that for you. Anytime you have any questions about guns, you hit me up. I'll help you out. Well, about 1911s, so. I don't get that comment on the Addict sites. Can't you post under the corporate account? Thought the photo. Yes, I can post under our corporate account. I actually was locked. My private personal account was deleted. So gangster life, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you got the low rider, you got the LA hat, which you don't have on right now. You got the Super 38 in the waistband. ASA, that's gangster shit. So yeah, appreciate you doing this. Nice to see companies willing to connect with us. Of course, I loved connecting with people. It's literally like my job. So I do handle most of the customer interaction parts of ACW. So, if you call and I'm not absolutely slammed like I've been the past month, I answer. So it's really great. Do you have any slide machining options you can talk about that might be in the future? I know what you're trying to get me to say, and I won't say it, but we're trying. We're working on it. Ported models, I hear ACW will deliver. No. Comps, yes, maybe. I don't know. I like comps. Comps are cool. Comps are like old school, right? Think about Nash bridges. I'm 25 pulling out Nash bridges on y'all. Y'all think old Miami Vice. Nash bridges. Think about this. Miami Vice, Bren 10, failed gun. Cool. Failed. The company failed. Failed. Ferrari Testarossa. What kind of pretentious name is that? Nash Bridges. Super 38 comp gun. Hemi Cuda convertible. There's no contest. There's no contest. The Nash Bridges is way cooler than Miami Vice off the simple fact of Bren 10 versus Super 38 comp gun. No question, the comp gun. And then you got Ferrari. There are several different ones, but I'm just talking about the Testarossa versus the Hemi Cuda convertible in Yala. Nash Bridges all day. So yeah, comps are cool because of old stuff. This fool is dope. Old school style comps would be sweet. Yes, I think so too. I really think that would be a dope. Asking the meaning of logo. Is the A for ACW or strong arm combo? Both. Curious. So I think our owner came up with it, but essentially he got it from from a photo of Pops flexing. So he was kind of giving the flex. So if you look at the logo, it's kind of like a flexing arm, right? And if they try to explain this to me, I'm going to try to explain it to you. And you're going to have to, like, you know, hit you some shrooms or something and look at this later. Get you an LSD tablet. I know that was popular back when most of y'all were kids. LSD tablet, put on the tongue there, listen to you some Jimi Hendrix, and look at it. But you can see that there's an A, somehow there's a C, and somehow there's a W in there. They explained it to me that it was there, and if you hold your mouth right, you'll see it. But you know, the W is the one that I can't really see all too well, but it is a strong arm flexing, and I'm all about that because, you know, you got to get in the gym, you know what I'm saying? So you got to get the guns going. And so I'm about the strong arm flexing, but there is supposed to be an ACW in there, kind of, you know, with a little bit of help from your neighborhood LSD dealer. Old soul in the Zoomer. How about a commander with a bob frame? Well, so Cabot actually has that. So this is the. Did you just see your boy pulled a Cabot out of the woodworks? It was like the roadie, right? Like the roadies sit off stage. If you ever heard that Tenacious D song, the roadies are sitting off stage, right? And you boom, there he is, bam. So there it is. So this is the Cabot Gentleman's Carry. That's a fantastic little gun. Bobtail. You know, Cabot does a really good job. This is kind of an overlooked model, in my opinion. It's one of my favorites, actually, that we have on the Cabot side. That's this and the Rebellion. And it's a really good bobtail. ACW doesn't really jive. That's an old term for you. Jive well. I don't think the bobtail is for us. So I don't think that's going to be a route we're going to take. At your age, I thought comps did it. At my age, I know ports are better. Well, here's the thing. We're not worried about the performance, okay? We're worried about the looks, okay? And comps look better than ports. So there's that. Dark Side of the Moon. A little bit of lead too. Oh, the paper were tabs in and the discs were dots. At least that's what I heard. It seems like someone has a little bit of experience with our friend LSND. Damn bob frame. She cold. Yeah, so Alchemy, man, we have a good time. We have a great time. And to be honest with you, the fact that they let me get on here and talk is pretty concerning, honestly. Because I could say some pretty crazy stuff. You know, this is like the Roadster Shop podcast. If you look at that, Roadster Shop, baby. If you haven't watched the Roadster Shop podcast, type in All in Whiskey. That's if you are from not the South. All is OIL. This right here, this Shalom Performance Trident, that is all. Okay. So All in Whiskey podcast. Look up the one with me and Nick the Dick, and you will love it. You may not. I actually can't. You will have a lot of fun. Oh, will a 1911 Addicts Edition 1911 ever be considered? What, like, you want us to be like the Les Bear and have the American handgunner model? Probably not, especially not because they hate me. You know, like that kind of makes me not want to make an Addicts model. But yeah, that reminds me of the American Handgunner Edition Les Bear, which I actually think is one of the strangest things I've ever seen, to do a magazine title on your gun. Like, that just does not make sense to me. Like, maybe that's a young thing. Maybe I'm like, I don't really read magazines much, so I don't get the draw and the appeal. But like, what do you want us to put? Like, Home and Garden on a gun? Like, that doesn't really make sense to me. How about these 45 Fridays every week? Well, guys, listen. Okay, I work a ton. Like, I wake up, get on my computer, I work, and I might take some time to lift and work out, but I'm working a lot. So, like, staying up late and doing these, you know, it's still fun, but we might not do them every week. But we might do them every other week. I don't know. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm as Yankee as it gets. The Razor. I'm gonna tell you what, Jeff. My boy Jeff, he is swinging and he don't care who gets hit. That I love that boy. That Rob All has a that that Rob All, which is the Trident from Shaolin Performance, ceramic infused lubricant, has replaced my KY jelly. That is hilarious. They paid less to do the American Handgunner model. I'm going to be honest with you. Even if Guns and Ammo came to us and they're like, hey, we'll pay you to do the guns and ammo on the side of the gun. Could you imagine guns and ammo being on the side of this gun? Absolutely not. Get out of here. I mean, I like making money, but I don't like making it that bad because that is awful. And so we will never do that. 1911 Addicts is worthy of a model right now. The roll mark would have to be censored. Yes, the 1911 Addicts will just be a big censored mark across the gun. Oh, evening, Zeke. That would look tacky as fuck. Yes, it would. The Addicts love you. What makes you think different? I hope you're joking. Yes. So to clarify, the 1911 folks on 1911 Addicts, the people, the addicts are lovely, and I love them, and they know I love them. They call me, they email me. Some of them even text me on my personal cell phone number. The administration is a little different though. So the people of 1911 Addicts, awesome, love them. Would do anything for them. They are amazing clients. They're amazing people. I literally look forward to posting on 1911 Addicts all the time. And like, I just got a Colt custom shop, by the way. This is weird that I'm talking about this on the 1911 on the Alchemy page, but I just got a new Colt and I was so looking forward to posting about it because it's a really cool gun. And now I can't share that with people. And I hate that because I really I just love the 1911 at the end of the day. Like you see in front of me, I've got Remington Rands, I've got Colts, I've got Alchemies. Obviously, Alchemy is my brand. Like if you were to sit me down and say, what's your favorite brand of 1911? Alchemy, 100%. That's my brand. That's my people. That's my gun. That's what I carry. That's what I trust my life with. That's what I want. But I'm kind of an addict myself. I've had 27 1911s. That safe is full of 1911s. I love them and I love sharing that with people. And to me, collecting the other makers, right? Your Ed Browns, your Nighthawks, your Wilsons. I'm looking for a Wilson next. The collecting that, you get to see how every little maker does things a little bit differently to make their pistol unique. And that's so cool to me because that's what is really awesome about the 1911 is that every little company makes the gun their own. And I love that. And I like collecting that and seeing that, at the end of the day, that's what's going in my holster until my Quantico gets finished. And then that's what's going in my holster. But I like cataloging those guns and I pull out my Clark Custom Meltdown, which is epic. And I'm like, this is sick. And it's so cool to see the work they did to do that. But now I can't share that because I've been banned from the 1911 Addicts. So that was fun. Okay. Hate to break it to you. Apparently, Alchemy did a ballistic ACW set that we gave away back in 2017. Well, I wasn't around then. So, I can't talk about that. Top slide treatment. I know. Listen, when we get bigger, when we get the capacity, we'll do it. Well, yes. What's your 1911 cleaning regiment, OCD or shoot? It's not really OCD. I just kind of, if I shoot like less than like 300 rounds, I don't really clean the gun. But if I'm putting the gun away for a while, I'll clean it. But if I spend like all day shooting and sweating on it, I'll clean it. I'm pretty easy with that. I just got a Colt custom shop. Also, what'd you get? I got the Colt custom carry. Been a gun that I liked back way before I started working Alchemy. And I'm good friends with people at Colt, which is really cool. And I think that if you're a 1911 guy in general, like regardless of semi-custom brand, you should have Colts in your stable, right? Like that's the quintessential historic 1911. Now, obviously, I'm not carrying a Colt. I'm carrying an Alchemy, but they are really cool to have in the collection and see the progression of that company, which is right now, Colt is the oldest continual American firearms brand in the country. So Remington, unfortunately, had a break, but Colt has, been around since right before the American Civil War, right in the Spanish-American War. Technically, if you want to get like in the weeds, you could say 1836, but then Sam Colt had some issues with the company, had to shut down, and then regroup until 1847, 1846, 1847. So that's getting into some weeds there. Options for Cali consumers. We're working on it, man. We are working on it. Andrew Clark says your comments about the addicts is being a bit strange. Instead of saying thanks for being a future customer, you made a weird comment about being banned. I think you're taking it personal. Well, I was personally banned. My personal account was banned. So I kind of am taking it a little personal. So yeah. And plus everyone on the addicts that knows me personally knows that, I take care of them. I take care of my addicts people. So there's that. I'm betting if you started a 1911 fan page, people would join. I know I would. We might. That would be fun. Options for Cali consumers. Listen, we want to sell guns in Cali. We do. So if as soon as an opportunity presents itself, we will. 1911s are the best looking handguns, bar none. Absolutely they are. I'm going to have to skip that one. I want to have 27 1911s when I grow up. It is a long road, but one that is rewarding. If we can get a bobtail, I at least want a Prime Elite compact with a rounded butt. If you get a hold of me, we can break the edge on the S&A magwells. Now, here's the thing is, once we get through with the S&A magwells, or the S&A style magwells on the Prime compacts, we will be moving to stanchions. So keep that in mind. I just snagged the Colt limited edition with the front strap checkering and the guard cut. Need to swap out some parts, but I love it. Hey, I got one of those on the way too. I think it's a great gun. They did a good job with the styling. I plan on shooting it for a while as is and then sending to Novak because I've always wanted a Novak custom gun. I think the Novak logo is so freaking cool. Like the Novak sight with the Novaks in it. I think that's such a cool logo. And like where he puts it in the front of the gun is super dope. I can't wait. So I'm hopefully I've got a Novak Colt 1903 actually coming. But I always want I've always wanted a Novak 5-inch gun. 20 LPI option in the future. Man, I wish. But people would complain. And I don't want to have to hear people complain to me about the front strap checkering and the back strap checkering being aggressive. Cool. I'll cancel and go back to Nighthawk. I will never try to convince you to stay. If you're happy with ACW, we're very, like I said, we're very open about things and we kind of are personal. So if you have that, that's fine. I can do that for you. Are the compact magwells not coming out round? No, the compact magwells are more like the S&A style where they have a little bit of a hard edge. So it kind of has this angle to it right here. That shoot. No, and if you look here, this is the angle that they'll go to. This is the new stanchion mag. Well, not new now, but it is the newer stanchion style magwell. So definitely a little bit more of a rounded butt than the S&A. But we just have a ton of S&A style compact magwells. So yeah, listen, this has been an hour 38. Oh gosh. It's never a loss when Snowflake walks away. This has been an hour and 38 minutes, coming up on 39 now. And this has been fun. We should definitely do this. I'm actually considering, yes, and Nick did put out, we can round that butt on the S&A magwell. So if that is something you're interested in, we can round that off a little bit. It may not be as aggressive, as what the stanchion has, but we can round that off a little bit, and so it's not that hard angle that they're kind of known for. So if that is something you're interested in, shoot me a message, or put it in your order notes. I'll take care of it. I like my OG magwell in my early prime. Yeah, see, that's the thing about when we do things like this. Some people like the other magwell, some people like the new magwell, but I'm a big fan of the stanchion magwells. Have you ever handled a stanchion gun? So yes. So I'm actually really good. Well, I like to think that I'm very good friends with stanchion and his family. They are phenomenal people. When I tell you that there are not nicer human beings on this planet than stanchion and the Chin kids, I can't express that enough. They are the nicest human beings I've ever met. They are absolutely fantastic people. And we were at SHOT Show, and two of the Chin kids came by, and we talked forever. I adore them. They are so well mannered, so amazing. And then Stan actually came by, and his daughter brought a Springfield he rebuilt. So it wasn't one of his like actual, him building it, but a Springfield that he rebuilt. And I'm telling you, I immediately was like, I gotta have a stanchion gun. So a stanchion gun is like right there at the top of my list. There's actually one that's right above it. I can't say what it is, but there's one right above it, but the stanchion is right there. And I am just like, that is a dream gun. That is a Lamborghini Countach. If you kids grew up in the 80s and the 90s, you had a Lamborghini Countach. What a stupid car to have on your wall, but it's like the famous car that everyone has on their wall. I mean, obviously I'm an American car guy, right? But anyways, get off topic. You have the Lamborghini Countach. It's the iconic car you have on the wall. That's me and the stanchion gun, because they are, first of all, crazy expensive, and I'll probably never get to own one, but they are great. They are awesome. Thanks, Nick. Thought it was in a video released recently. Definitely want it rounded. Well, we can definitely do that, Jeff. I like round butts. I cannot lie. You other shooters cannot deny. What a crew we have here. I've heard great things about stanchion. Every exchange we've had has been great. I'd love one of his gats. Yeah, well, dude, like stanchion, like getting one of his actual stanchion guns is like great. You got to like sacrifice a cow to, and then like pray in the north on a Wednesday when the stars align, like to get a gun of that he's done. It's crazy. And they're not cheap. Which of your 27 1911s would you part last with? Probably my Combat Limited. Not that one. This gun. This gun was personally built. This is the prototype for the Combat Limited series, which is one of the first projects I got to head up for Alchemy. This gun was built personally by Rob Shallin, and then, of course, blended by the lovely Tori. And this gun means the world to me. It's a lot of sentimental value here, and it also is freaking amazing. I've always dreamed of having a Packmeyer Combat Special. It's still in the list of things to have as a Packmeyer Combat Special, or a Packmeyer gun of some kind. And to have this gun, which is kind of my vision of what I wanted in a Packmeyer, is really emotional to me. So being built by Pops, being finished up in the blending by Tori, and then, of course, being the prototype for the series that kind of launched our Resto mod, which is something that we do that's unique from any other manufacturer. This gun would be the last gun I would ever part with. Chuck Rogers, yep, Yost, all them. No problem, Jeff. Then okay, that's Nick talking to people. Newbie question: what is a stanchion magwell, and why do people like them? This is stanchion. Well, actually, you know what? Hold on, I might have one. Oh, look at me! Look at your boy. Your boy has one laying around. So this is the stanchion magwell. Obviously, this is not blended, but this is the stanchion magwell. So the reason people like them is the first one is it's a one-piece magwell. So back in the day, like even actually today, a lot of folks will get two-piece magwells, which means you have the mainspring housing, that's one piece, and then the magwell itself, which is another piece, and it's screwed into the bottom. As you can imagine, anything with a screw can be unscrewed. Unscrewed. That sounds correct. Unscrewed. And so you can just unscrew it and take the magwell off, or it could be loosened up over time. So that's the first reason. Second reason is they are really, really nicely easy to blend into the frames. They have that really nice round butt there, great checkering on the back, and they just look really good. They look really good. They perform really well. This is when I haven't put in a gun yet, but this is an actual stanchion in stainless steel. I feel like a rookie with my 13 1911s. I'm not worthy. Well, listen, that's not, you can't. Don't do that. Having one 1911 is better than having 13 Glocks, 14 Glocks. Enter a number here, Glock. So I'm happy that you have one 1911, much less 13. But unscrewed is a word I do believe. Go with it. Does Alchemy offer, oh gosh, this is in the way. How do I? Does Alchemy offer stanchion magwells? On our guns, yes. Separately, no. You can order those directly through stanchion, and you will actually get a lovely written thank you, and then also you'll get a bag of peanut M&Ms. I think the last ones I got were peanut M&Ms. So you get a bag of M&Ms, and that's super rad. I think it's the coolest thing ever. And it just, again, goes to show you, Stanchion, he's the dude. He's the man. His family's awesome. Great people. We are happy at Alchemy to be partnering with such great people. And so, yeah. But you can buy those. And the nice thing is about the stanchion magwells, a little off topic to Alchemy, but if you have a brand new Colt that does have the magwell bevel, or most new Springfields actually, and maybe a Kimber, but I don't mess with them, so I don't know. This actually will work without any blending. It won't be the prettiest, but it will work nicely. And you can actually buy this and install it on most new Colts and Springfields without too much trouble, and you will have an actual functional magwell. When I was in college, my first real hard-use carry gun was a Springfield Range Officer Elite Operator, and I installed a blued stanchion magwell to it, no blending, and I ran that gun forever, and it still has it on there today, actually. Nope. Where is that gun? Oh. So that gun, this gun, which has been shot to pieces. This is one of my first carry guns. It has the stanchion magwell on it with no blending, and it works pretty well. So I'm just gonna stick that over here. Best drop in magwell in the market if you don't want to. Oh, best drop in magwell. I'm there. I'm with you, Jeff. I'm with you. When and if you do market to Cali, could you make a publication with Nick on that announcement? Oh yeah. Listen, when we go into Cali, you'll know about it. I will be in there. I'll be going to LA with my low rider, be like, hey, we gonna be up here. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna probably bring back Super 38. It's gonna be great. Like when we go to California, I'm there because I love California. People think that's crazy that some Southern boy likes California. Look at my car. I have a purple Galaxy 500 that's on bags. I'm about that California lifestyle. I got my LA hats ready to go. Got brown if you want that little 1947 throwback, or I've got the blue. Because I'm gonna be crip walking. I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna be crip walking. That was a little bit too far. I apologize. What grips are on that 1911 on your little rack? The brownish with the these are mammoth tooth. Mammoth tooth. So we actually offer these on Alchemy. I don't have many left, but we do offer them. So if you want a set with your new Alchemy, let me know, and I'll get you squared away. Is your limited a part of the 25? So this is actually the prototype. This is actually 0 of 25. This is not a part of the 25. I would have felt bad too taking one of the 25. So I was happy that we did this. But this actually is my gun that is a pre-limited run version. So this is technically like not in that run. It is the prototype for them built by RCSJR, if that explains it. I'm out. This is fun. Have a great one. Also, please keep a square trigger monolithic comp gun in mind for me. Okay. Smith and Alexander makes them drop in, or gunsmith with no pinhole. They work great, especially blended pinhole and drill. Yep, I see that, Nick. Yeah, we are, like I said, we are good. You know, we're a 1911 company of guys who love 1911s. That's what it comes down to, man. That's what it comes down to. We love them. I'll talk to you about 1911s all the freaking time. And it's just a passion of mine, you know, and alchemy is always going to be number one. That's going to be the, you know, I'm always looking at my next alchemy. But at the same time, I still want to catalog the other guns that have basically paved the path for us, you know, like Wilson Combat is one of the big reasons that alchemy is able to kind of do what we're doing, right? They started this whole, well, they didn't really start it, but they kind of streamlined and made semi-custom 1911s something that people not in the know knew about, right? Like most people didn't know about Kings or Swenson or Packmeyer, but you know, Wilson really streamlined that and made that popular. You have Nighthawk and Ed Brown and Les Bear and us and all these great brands. So I think it's really cool to document that. And I really love old school custom 1911s, like pre 2000s. That's like going to be one of my new things I'm after. But yeah, we're just a company, 1911 dudes that loves 1911s. Are there more premium grips available for the compact? No. No, there's not. Sorry. The compact, we only have the black checkered like this. That, oh, that's a good looking gun too, isn't it? Or where to go? Oh, this is the walnut here, which I think the walnut and the DLC is a pretty slept on combination. I think that's a great look. Great look. Wilson 1911s are dope, but I like the refined look of alchemy over the tactical thing. Yeah, that's what I love about our market. You know, Wilson has their thing, Nighthawk has their thing, Ed Brown has their thing. We have our thing, which is that classic old school kind of brash Americana, like we're in your face, you know, proud to be an American, return to tradition kind of deal. And that's what I love, right? You know, there's a place for everything in the market, you know, and I'm super happy to be where we are, but I'm appreciative of everyone else's place in the market too. Tactical 1911s are sweet, man. Look, Quantico, baby, that's a good looking gun. That is a good looking gun. Throw an X300 on that thing. Whew, call it a day, son. That's a great looking pistol. Got my first Wilson. Surprisingly, as they were the first high-end 1911s I knew about, but my first custom was an ACW. Yeah. And you know what? Wilson does a great job with marketing. They have a big marketing machine and they do a great job at it. And I hope one day that we can raise to that level too. I don't even have a 1911 yet. Gonna feel like a snob jumping straight into an ACW. Yes. You know what? A lot of folks will say, oh, well, you know, the ACW, that's not your first time 1911. But what I've noticed talking to customers, because if you buy direct, you know that I will contact you. Now, if it is after hours, I try to be respectful and email you rather than call you. But if it is during work hours, I try to call everybody and talk to them. And I love getting to meet or, you know, on the phone, meet our customers and talk to our customers. So that's something I'm actually seeing a lot lately, is that people are getting their first 1911 with us. And that is something I love hearing. That makes me so happy. I think that's the greatest thing ever. It just makes me really joyful when I hear that somebody's getting their first 1911 and it's going to be an Alchemy custom weaponry pistol. So that makes me super happy. Does Alchemy sell any parts? I know some look like EGW. You do a great job. Thank you. We do not sell parts at this time. That is something we're going to think about doing in the future, but we do not at this time. But thank you for the interest. ACW's attitude was half the reason I went with y'all for my first high in 1911. Other half, obviously, being the badass guns y'all build. Thank you. Well, we greatly appreciate that. That means the world to us. So, that's awesome. Thank you so much. I had people say ACW shouldn't be my first. I'm like, nah, I want something that looks timeless. That right there, that notion, right? I want something that looks timeless. Think about this. Okay, I'm gonna set this aside. Okay, think about it. This is a charcoal blue gun. And look at this gun. This is pretty much, with the exception of the Delta Hammer, which we won't get into, but this silhouette is what makes the 1911 famous. Okay, this gun was attractive 100 years ago. It'll be attractive in another 100 years. It is a proven. It's a proven look. It's a proven aesthetic. It's a proven look that is, as you've just said, timeless. This gun will always be cool. Now, you can do tri-tops. You can do this, that. You can do high power cuts. And these things might be cool now, but are they going to be cool in 100 years? Who knows? Look at some of the custom things that they did to 1911s back in the day. Some of that stuff, not really the coolest now. But this base, this look will always be cool. Always be cool. And so I think that you're on the right track. This is a good gun to start with because it's a timeless look. This is a gun that will remain at the top of the food chain for as long as firearms are firearms. Now, when Halo starts happening, I don't know, but we've actually seen, there's been video games that prophesize that the 1911 will be around when we're fighting aliens. And you know what? I believe them. Okay. The 1911 don't take no shit. Gator don't take no shit. So yeah. Oh. The classic CCO look, ball cuts or no? Ball cuts. Ball cuts. Listen, you like it when you got the ball cuts. The women like it when and I'm talking about hair and also 1911s. So get the ball cuts. Any vertical serrations in the future? Well, I mean, these are rear vertical serrations. And we're probably going to keep that as a thing that we do for the resto mod. So I don't think we'll move that into full production. I think that will be a resto mod thing that we do for those limited edition guns. When we're fighting the Covenant as Halo Spartans, best believe I'll be out there with the 1911. That's excellent. Halo is a good game. The first time 1911 buyers that buy an Alchemy won't get the bitterness that people that have cheap imports. Yes, you're right. I often struggle with this, right? So there's kind of two sides to this, where on one hand, a lot of people my age, let's be honest, I'm a bit of an anomaly. Most 25-year-olds don't have a Colt 1902, a Combat Limited, an Alchemy Prime Elite Carry, a Remington Rand, a 68 Super 38 Colt, an 18 U.S. Army gun. Most 25-year-olds don't have that kind of stuff at their right there in front of them. I get that. But, so part of me sees like I'm not going to say names, but a $400, $500, $600 1911, and it's like, yes, I want you to get that gun. I want you to take the put the toes in, because hopefully you'll enjoy that experience and think, well, if this is cool, I wonder what a $1,500 gun feels like, and I wonder what a $2,500 gun feels like. I wonder what a $3,000, $4,000 gun feels like. And you'll climb that ladder. I did. I started out with a 1985 Colt Government model and slowly moved up from there. Got a Springfield Professional, kept moving up from there. Now I'm carrying an Alchemy, and I've got a Cabot in the rotation as well. The next step is a ton of money. The next step from that, ton of money. So, but the thing with that is, the problem there is that there is a pretty high likelihood that people can have a negative experience at that $300, $400, $500, $600 range. And instead of having the forethought to think that, oh, well, this is a cheap iteration of the gun that I want, they might say, well, this design is flawed, or this gun's outdated, it's antiquated. They'll use these kind of terms because they had bad experience with a cheap variant of a 1911. And so, in that sense, I don't like the fact that people my age are starting on cheaper 1911s. And so it's really this kind of understanding of where someone's at. And I want to make that impression on young folks. I want them to yearn for a 1911. I'm so tired of seeing my buddies with Glocks and SIGs and this, that, and the other stupid, awful looking guns. I want them to get into 1911s. And almost all of my friends that are into guns have gotten into 1911s, and they are persuaded or influenced by my constant ramblings. But it is this balance of, you can't go to a guy who just got out of college and be like, hey, man, you got to drop $4,000 on a gun to have a good experience. It's one of these things where you have to work them in. And it's so difficult now. I've had people on my Instagram. If you don't know, I have a personal Instagram that's pretty well known for 1911s, and they'll reach out and they'll say, XYZ manufacturer, I just got it. It's $450. I thought it was great, and now I can't get it to run, and they're kind of hard to deal with. And in this sense, the guy that I'm thinking about, he actually sold that and went to a Beretta 92. Great gun, but not a 1911. And so to me, that's a loss on the 1911's crusade to reconquer the world, is when someone buys a cheap gun, they have a bad experience, they move on to a 92 or a CZ or, God forbid, a Glock or SIG. And so it's one of these things where you just have to be cautious of what you're getting at that price range. And really what we're trying to do when we cultivate that love for the pistol with the young folk and the next generation. So, long tangent there. Apologize for that. Oh, my 1911's revolvers will be the last handguns to go. Absolutely. When will the next limited run? Will the next limited run be more than 25? No, we're probably going to keep them at 25. They will not be going over 25. They might be going under 25, but we were trying to stay in 25. 1911 and SAA is the last guns. Yep. Single action armies are badass. Yeah, I'm 22. I'd like more people our generation to be invested in preserving 1911 culture. And, it is difficult. And not to get on my high horse here, but it is difficult when, a lot, and not all, please do not try to get butthurt. A lot of older folks are very gatekeeping of the 1911. They're not really willing to share that knowledge. I didn't really have anyone when I first got into 1911s that would actually talk to me about the guns. And I know that there probably was somebody that would, but no one that I really talked to that was into guns wanted to kind of impart that information on me. I had to go out and get it myself. And you learn from trial and error that way. But I was led in a good path. Got a Colt, had a lot of great, had a great time with that Colt. I still have that Colt back here in the safe. But yeah, a lot of older folks are very, particular with who they spend that knowledge with. And, I really try to be pretty open to younger folks and try to impart as much as I know, which I'm learning something about 1911s every single day. Every single day you can learn something new about 1911. That's what makes it freaking awesome. The history of the gun and every little thing about it. Just when you think you know everything, something else pops up and you're like, man, that's really freaking cool. And so that's what I love about the pistol. But I started with Springfield, had some Wilson Combat internals, had to sell it, then bought a Rock Island. The gun shoots 5 times better than that Springfield, or I became a better shooter, still have it. Well, sometimes that happens. In my experience, those guns have not been the greatest, but sometimes that happens. We need Eli teaching history of 1911 in school. Man, I wish. That would be a fun class. We must convert Zoomers to the gospel of Browning. Yes, it is. It's part of our creed. It was pretty cool seeing someone around my age be a spokesperson for Alchemy. One of the reasons I got interested in the company. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Big gamble for Alchemy, putting someone my age and with my mouth as a mouthpiece for the brand. I like to think that I do a good job. I hope I do. But at the end of the day, my job and not really even my job, my passion is to bring people back to the gun. Um, you know, I want people to have the love and joy that I feel when I see these guns and impart that onto them. The limited was sold out before I could even load the page. Yes. First run was sold out in 3 minutes. Second run was sold out in 2. So pretty ridiculous. I think it's cool you guys are into other brands of 1911s too. It shows you really are gun guys and make your opinions have credence. Yeah. Listen, man, like at the end of the day, like I tell you all the time, the Alchemy is the gun that I'm taking. Alchemy is my brand. But I think it's very difficult. And you'll watch Wilson Combat videos. They talk about other brands all the time. And when you have the experience and stuff that they do, that's really cool. That means a lot. They actually shouted out Alchemy. Ken Hackathorn and Bill Wilson both came by the booth. And I'm telling y'all what, when Ken Hackathorn walked up to me and knew who I was, I really almost never fangirl over people. Just never have. I've seen celebrities out in public and it's like, whatever. I've been at the urinal at Daytona 500 and Joey Logano was right next to me, pissing. But when Ken Hackathorn walked up to me, it was like one of the shining moments of my life. He has been such an inspiration and such a role model for me that I couldn't handle it. And so that was one of the greatest things. But anyways, Ken Hackathorn and Bill Wilson both gave a shout out to Alchemy on their YouTube channel, which has a ton of reach, right? And that means a lot to us. And it kind of got me thinking, like, there's so much room in this industry for all of our brands and all of our styling and all of our ideas. I'm very good friends. I had a phone call with Landon Stone from Nighthawk the other night. Very good friends with them. Had a phone call with Colt, a couple people at Colt, very good friends with them. It's at where we are. It makes no sense to, not appreciate what everyone does in their market and in their segment. And I think that it's ridiculous if you're someone who would ignore that. So yeah, we're gun guys. At the end of the day, I'm a gun guy. You look around, I got AR-10s, Mark 12s. I've got a Steyr AUG heavy barrel. I mean, I've got LTT shotguns, Mark 18s, FALs, M1 Grands, M1 carbines. I like guns. But at the end of the day, the gun that is at the top of everything is the 1911. Do you like the high power? No. A lot of people give me crap for that, but I really don't like the high power. I think it really is a sad chapter to the end of the John Moses Browning legacy. Even though he didn't really finish the gun, it did not stand, in my opinion, it does not compare to the other feats that he did around that time. First 1911 ever shot was a stainless Springfield and Super 38. First 1911 ever bought was a Colt 1991 A1. I'm still a Colt and Springfield fan to this day. No reason not to be. I've got Springfields. I've got tons of Colts, so understand that. That's the cool thing about ACW is you and every other gun company is the cool thing about ACW is you. Every other gun company is so by the book and politically correct, which is fine but boring. And I'll be honest with you, that's the safe way to go. Being politically correct is the safe way to go. Like, they take a risk the way that I act a lot of times. But I really do think that we have something special going on here, and I really stand by the product at the end of the day and just absolutely love what we do and what I get to do. I have the best job in the world. Ken Hackathorn made you moist. Something like that. ACW is like the rebel of the 1911 builders. We are definitely like that. Show us the Colt that got you started. Might as well at this point. We're 2 hours in, and I've kept an audience this long. We might as well show you the gun that got me started on guns. I've got it right here. Yep. It is a 1985 Colt government model. I do have the original grips, but these are some rosewood Colt medallion grips I put on it. But this is the gun that I started on. I didn't carry it very long, actually, because funny enough, I was in college. I just turned 21, and I could barely afford to shoot this thing. I actually remember taking out a loan from my aunt to pay for this gun, and finally paid her back in a couple months because again I'm in college, right? And I could not afford to shoot 45 in this gun the way that I knew that I needed to learn. So that's actually why I bought the 9mm Springfield Range Officer Elite Operator. That I spent a ton of time learning the gun on this gun. Because at the time, this is pre-COVID, by the way, 9mm is like $7 a box, and like you can't turn that down. And the amount of training and stuff that I was able to do on the 9mm gun really helped set the stage. And now I'm back to shooting 45s pretty much predominantly, other than my Quantico high cap, which is a fantastic 9mm. The first pistol I ever shot was 1911. I haven't shot anything else. That's my girl, Tori. Dang right. I like high powers minus the hammer bite. Makes the original 1911 bite look tame. Yes. If Browning was able to make the high power the way he wanted, it would have had been better, but he sold the rights to the 1911, was able to use some of the designs. Absolutely. 100% true there. Any favorites over 5 inches? Nah. I'm kind of average. I like to stay in the 5-inch range. Just a white boy here, just hanging out in the 5-inch. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't get into too many long slide guns. There are some cool ones and some ridiculous ones in the long slide variant, but man, I just don't get into them too much anymore, or not anymore. Never really have. 5 inches kind of where I like to be. And I don't really have guns under 4 1/4. So 4 1/4 and 5-inch are right where I'm at. I like Commanders a lot, but I'm moving even more back to a government model on all of my guns. So, do customers that order direct from ACW versus those that order through the dealer get preference? There isn't a preference. Explaining our dealer process is not easy. We have to do some creative planning to be able to work in dealer orders with direct orders and be able to make sure everyone's kind of taken care of fairly. So there isn't a preference, but there is a lot that goes into that, actually more than you would maybe expect. And the biggest reason for that is we are a ultra small company that's growing fast. And the problem with that is we do not want to outpace our capacity and put ourselves in a bad situation. And we certainly don't want to increase lead times to 18 or 22 months. So we're really trying to keep everyone happy. Some people will be less happy than others in that situation, but we do not give preference to direct orders, if that makes sense. It's just kind of how the dealer allocations for pistols are set up. Those were times, much cheaper ammo. Gosh, I know it. I used to complain about $13 a box 45 ACP. LOL. Now look at us. How do you feel about the 1911 we know today almost being more like the 1903, 1908 model? I'm a big fan of the 1903, 1908. And I actually like the 1905, which was the first 45, but there's no denying that the finished product is the superior of the products. So Colt 6 Springfield 1911s are a gateway drug. Alchemy is the real deal, old school 1911. Not even Wilson Combat does good. Well, hey, thank you so much, Chris. We greatly appreciate that. And just like you said, they're gateway drugs. It's funny, this gun led me to this gun, which led me to a TRP, which led me to a Pro, which led me to, what did I get after a Pro? Oh, my high cap. I got my Alchemy high cap. Then I got a Cabot Rebellion. Then now I carry this, and now I have a Quantico, a hard chrome Quantico on order. So, it is a really cool progression. The gateway drug is real. Awesome, Colt. Thanks for sharing. Thank you. And thank you, Ed. Do you do any reloading? I don't, but I will eventually because I do want to do 45. Jim Hogue made the 6-inch long slide cool. You had to weld 2 slides together back then. Yes, and I think that would be a 6-inch gun that I would be super rad, super down on owning. I think that would definitely be something I would really want. An old Hogue 6-inch gun would be sick. Yeah, that'd be super rad. Dude, we have kept an audience of like 50 to 55 for almost over 2 hours. That is freaking nuts, y'all. Like y'all are troopers, man. Like y'all definitely are about that life. I really appreciate y'all staying on here so long. I didn't mean this is usually an hour. We usually do this for an hour. I did not mean for it to get this long, but anytime I get talking about 1911s, I just can't stop. Like it's a weird state that I get into. Does ACW do any comped guns? No, we had to talk about this earlier on. I'm sorry if you just popped in, but we definitely let me rephrase. I want to do an ACW comp gun, very similar to the Nash Bridges comp gun. So I think that'd be so cool. I have to confess, I have 7 ACWs and I never shoot any of them. They're too nice. You gotta shoot them, man. You gotta shoot them. You're hurting me. You're hurting me right here, man. Or that's not my heart. This is my heart. But it's kind of my heart's right here. I totally was looking at the screen and was like, "You're hurting me on my heart." My heart's not right there. My hand is soaking in ice from shooting today. That is excellent. Good stuff. Preach to us, brother Eli. It's an addiction and we're an obsession. Yes, it is. It is. The 1911 is awesome. As ACW tribute guns go, I love to see a tribute to the early Wilson Combat 110 package. That could be something that would be really cool. I could listen to you talk about 1911s all day. Well, I appreciate that. That means a lot to me. Old Tory's all tore up that you're not shooting your alchemies, Ed. You got to shoot them. Nash Bridges, Don Johnson carried some great guns on Miami Vice too. We just went over this. Okay, so I see you probably popped in after that conversation, but Nash Bridges is cooler than Don Johnson. Okay, I'm going to say it. I'm going to stand by it. You got an Italian sports car and a Bren 10, okay? And as much as the Bren 10 is freaking awesome, they failed as a company. And then you got the Italian sports car. Nobody cares about a Ferrari. Nobody cares about that. Then you have on this other side a comp Super 38 two-tone baby with a convertible Hemi Cuda. Like, that's not even a fair comparison. Like, I will give you this. The wardrobe of Don Johnson superior to the wardrobe of Nash Bridges, but you got to think the place in which they're located geographically. Obviously, Miami is going to have the better wardrobe. But the gun and car choice for Nash Bridges, way cooler than the gun and car choice for Miami Vice. And I will stand by that till I die. 1911s are like Jordan 1s. The more beat up they are and the more character they have, the better. I don't have any Jordan 1s, but yes. Miami Vice didn't have cheats. Enough said. That's funny. It was Sonny Crockett. Yeah, I just got, Don Johnson, Sonny Crockett. That's what I meant to say. Sonny Crockett in Miami Vice, Nash Bridges in Nash Bridges. The Nash Bridges gun was built by a Max 45 shot cool gun, full profile comp with a bob nose, a lot of machine to make it look like the comp is part of the slide. Yes, it's a really cool gun. Like when you actually get a good picture of that gun, that is a really cool gun. Can't forget Magnum PI, baby. No, you can't. Have y'all had any celebrities order an ACW? Yes, we have, actually. Comp model ask the folks in the shop. We will. Keep this on YouTube. Wish the one with RCS wasn't removed. So we have two with RCS. We did a Friday Night Live that was just off the chain, and for some reason my camera malfunctioned and we weren't able to keep that video. Then we have the other one with RCS on Saturday Night Live, which was also pretty hilarious. That one is on YouTube. This one will be on YouTube. So the big thing that I didn't want was I didn't want to have people watch these and then be kind of bad quality, because like the webcam that is used for an Apple is not great. And so I now am using my actual camera, which if you were here for the beginning, we had some technical difficulties with the camera because we're a 1911 company and technology is hard. But now we've got it fixed and I've got it figured out. I learn something every time we do this. Sonny Crockett should have carried a Delta Elite. That's pretty cool. Most expensive ACW model to leave the shop. We did a gun for old Trump Jr. I think. I don't know how much it was. That was before my time. But even if you did full, like a charcoal blue with like a ton of options, like you're only going to get like $9,500. So I think I have one charcoal blue gun on order that's like close to $9,000. So that's probably like the cap on an Alchemy. Now, I don't know in the past, like you said, I've only been with the company for a year. So in the past, there may have been some pretty expensive ones go out, but right now, $9,000 is kind of the cap. Oh. Eli could turn that into a Magnum PI mustache. Yeah, I let it grow down and then I'll cut it like right here, and then it grows. I'll end up letting it grow down a little bit more. I like that because like when you do this, look, it's a pretty entertaining look to me. And I think this mustache matches like a 1911 really well. It just like goes together, Have you handled the Apocalypse? That's on my bucket list. Oh, the Apocalypse, you say? Nope, that's not it. Hold on. I've got 1911s everywhere. Haha, the Apocalypse. This is the Cabot Apocalypse. Cabot, don't say I don't ever mark it for you. This is the Cabot Apocalypse right here, Damascus Slide. And this actually is a 9mm with a threaded barrel. I don't know who came up with that, but it is a 9mm with a threaded barrel. Obviously, you can get it in a 5-inch gun. This is the Commander with threaded barrel. And you can't get it in 45, which you should. But this is the Cabot Apocalypse right here. Oh, yeah. This is actually a really good shooting gun. And so, to me, to have that next level fighting gun, I mean, this is not a cheap gun, but that's a cool gun to have. Like, a Damascus slide gun, there's something there to be said about that. That's a pretty cool system there. It's a pretty cool look, in my opinion, especially the back of them. When you see the cross section of the Damascus, that to me is my favorite part. And the new guns have the RAS extractor, which is the internal extractor. And so you can actually see more of that pattern. You don't have the cutout for the extractor. It's a really cool look. You got that kind of cross section and then the bushing there. That's a really cool look. It's just a really cool gun in general. The Apocalypse. I also have a Serenity. I don't like the Serenity as much because I just like a darker look with this. Like it just looks kind of sinister. But if you got the Apocalypse, you got to have Serenity. Like it makes sense. But the Serenity looks really cool, and the Serenity is a bright gun. Like in this dark lighting, the Serenity. Like look at that thing, man. That is now talk about barbecue gun. That right there is going to get you all the attention. And this one, the pattern, you can see it's cut differently than the Apocalypse. It's actually cut opposite, I believe, of the Apocalypse. And so you have a really cool pattern there, and it just really bounces the light. And these stainless steel grips are super gangster. Just a really rad pistol. Oh, bust out your Swiss rifle. Listen, this is an Alchemy 1911 live, and I have deviated, but we got to keep the rifles out because we'll do a 1776 Duck live eventually, and I'll be able to do that. Which 1911 model should I carry when fighting an alien and a predator? Quantico 45 Red Dot X300. Make it happen. Got to run. Great broadcast. Yeah, we're going to have to close this down soon. Y'all going to keep me up all night. I don't like shiny on my guns, but the Serenity is gorgeous. Yeah, it is. It definitely is. That is a beautiful gun. So listen, guys, and girls. If there's some girls in here, I don't really know how to talk to girls. So don't tell me if you're in here because then I'll just shut down. Guys, listen, y'all. It has been a excellent little podcast, kind of live. We've been on here for 2 and almost a half hours. That is freaking wild. Like if we go any longer, I'm gonna start taking off my clothes and expecting to go home with one of y'all. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to shut this down because it's gonna start getting inappropriate here in a minute. And I ain't even had a glass of cheer wine yet. And so if I get some cheer wine in me, it all bets are off. And so This has been a wonderful evening. 49 people are still on this thing after 2.5 hours. And that right there is freaking awesome. Like, y'all are so awesome. Alchemy, I say it all the time. We've got the best customers in the business. We got the best people in the business, and so y'all are awesome. Even if you're not a customer now, I hope you will be. And even if you're not, I'm happy that you're here. I'm happy you're spending the time with us. As long as you're about the 1911, you are more than welcome to share the table with me, no matter what your brand of choice is. So we are super dope. Super happy to hear that. So, anyways, I am going to log off, put all of these guns up because I got a lot of guns out. Put all these guns up, not in a Liberty safe because I'll give my codes to the feds. And so we'll get you all taken care of. If you have any questions or comments, anything you want to hit me up with, shoot me an email at Eli, at cabotguns.com. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are awesome. I hope we can do this again. Thank you so much for your support of Alchemy. Thank you so much for your support of myself. And have a great Friday night. Go party or don't. It don't matter to me. It's a free country for now. This is Eli with Alchemy Custom Weaponry, and I'll talk to y'all later.